This afternoon, former Vice President Dr. Bawumia promises to win back power from the NDC come 2028 as he touts the achievements of the immediate past Akufo-Addo administration.
Also, the Ministry of Health rejects allegation of bias in the Ridge Assault investigative report. But meanwhile, management of Ghana's premier hospital, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, is warning of a diversion of business from the facility to private businesses.
Also, there's our fears of a looming health crisis swells as displaced victims of the Bimbilla communal conflict. Mostly children are falling sick after spending nights outside the comfort of their homes. Those are the top stories. You're welcome to another edition of News Central. I'm Kemini Amano.
And I am Mawina Egbeta. The bulletin starts right now. Now, this afternoon, the battle for the new Patriotic Party's 2028 flag bearership slot continues to pick up a lot of heat as more and more aspirants file their nomination. So far, 3 flag bearer hopefuls, including Brian Echampong, Kennedy Ejapong, and Kwabena Ejapong, have successfully filed their processes to compete in that election. And we know that today, the former Vice President and 2024 flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Bawumia, has, along with a mass of supporters as well, filed his nomination. Now, speaking after the filing, the former Vice President made a strong defense of his time in office, touting his acclaim as the most effective Vice President in the country's history. Also, touching on the internal contest while urging peace.
Impacted the lives of millions of our people. This is what the streets refer to as being rich in ideas. The initiatives I advocated for in our time today are making impact in people's lives. The rich, innovative, and practical ideas that I successfully championed and saw to implementation include the Bank of Ghana's Gold Purchase Program, the first in Africa, the Gold for Oil Program, the first in Africa, the accelerated issuance of the Ghana card, mobile money interoperability, the first in Africa, the Ghana Digital Property Address System, the first in Africa, Agenda 111, one constituency, one ambulance, the Zipline drone delivery service, the largest in the world, the universal QR code payment system, the No, which is the first in Africa, the No Guarantor student loans, Ghana.gov, the Citizens app, NHIS registration and renewal on your mobile phone, the rental assistance scheme, the Zongo Development Fund, individualized credit scoring, paperless ports, electric buses, e-gates at Kotoka International Airport, and the digitalization of medical records across all district, regional, and teaching hospitals in Ghana, amongst others. The implementation of these practical policy initiatives has resulted in many people saying that I have been the most effective Vice President in Ghana's history. I can equally become one of the most effective presidents in Ghana as we go forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I demonstrate my strength by getting results, not by making noise or by insulting or by bragging about money. The combined effect of how well Bawumia is known today and my experience as Vice President make me the most prepared person for the MPP's quest for the 2028 election and governance in 2029. Fellow Kukudites, in the words of Kofi Abrefa-Bruzia, the qualification to be a success in Ghana's politics includes a large capacity to stomach all sorts of attacks. I am not oblivious to the fact that the NDC and lately elements within our own family subject me to daily attacks. In fact, I expect that there will be more attacks in the coming months and years. But I have learned, if I have learned anything from history, it includes the fact that a man must be formidable so that no matter the adversity, he stands tall, focused, and resolute. All that can be held at me have already been attacked. As the days are going by, time has shown great vindication.
It's the flag bearer hopeful of the New Patriotic Party for the 2028 elections, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. Let's get onto the phone lines right now. Speak to political analyst Dr. Samuel Efriye. Doc, I appreciate you speaking to us. We've had different interactions on different platforms, but today we've seen Dr. Bawumia as well go in, file his nomination, and make his bold speech. What have you made of the different speeches from the respective camps going into the race, putting into context all of the acrimony, if we can call it that, in the lead up to today?
Yes, thank you very much. Looking at today's filing of the former Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, I think it's so interesting, as I said some time ago, about Ken yesterday and also Communal Japan and the rest, I think it's giving credence about how the party is trying to reorganize themselves and retune themselves towards the agenda of winning the 2028 elections. So, today when I saw Dr. Bawumia's own, the way he's organizing himself and also the party, I think I have a problem about the way he makes some statements about re-echoing or trying to let Ghanaians know about what the government that he was the vice president was able to do about all those achievements. I think now he has to be a little bit careful and try to tell Ghanaians or the party people that what he is in to offer and the qualities that he possesses to offer. I think the handlers should try to draw his attention so that he will not be dwelling on the past, because in 2024, the same or the kind of achievement was mentioned, and Ghanaians chose that is President Mahama now. And so if you re-echo again, I don't see how impactful or how these things can make a difference. So
wouldn't his decision to re-echo these achievements come in the wake of the fact that his colleagues, when I say colleagues, persons who are seeking to, amongst many other things, contest against him in this race, are amongst many other things saying that the achievements were not really achievements. They've mentioned DDEP and its numerous challenges and economic mismanagement, amongst many other things, reason for which he has a justification to try and put forward these achievements again.
This achievement is widely known within the party circles, It's not something new. And I don't think that talking to the delegates of re-echoing this will tend to change their minds. So I think that he has to tone down on those areas and try to brand himself specifically for what he wants to do for the party and what he wants to do for the country. I think the platform that he chose today of re-echoing some of these things, I think that it might seem that he's campaigning and based on Nanado's leadership, and I think that he has to distance himself from Nanado's government, because most of the things that he has been victim of Nanado's kind of the citizens or the people trying to punish Dr. Bawumia. Some, I'm not saying all, of Nanado's leadership. So I believe that now he has to rebrand himself, try to let Ghanaians know that this is what he has for the party, this is what he has for Ghanaians. And I think that is where it might reposition him credibly for the other contestants. I think that is what the people are expecting now.
Right, but back to the posturing in terms of him responding today to some of the attacks against this person by his other colleagues. There have been those who've questioned the sort of ideas he's had. He mentions tribal politics amongst many other things. He sought to respond to these today, a good enough response that begins to calm all camps, because the other camps say his camp as well is guilty of some of these claims of attack.
You know, Bawumia will be one of the focus for all the candidates to attack him, and I think that is where you also need to be very careful, so that you will not be responding to some of these attacks. He has to concentrate on himself. He has to concentrate on how to convince delegates, rather than trying to respond. You see, in political strategy, you can realize that some people throw darts into you, and then when you react, then they also get opportunity out of it to also make some kind of intuition out of it, whatever you come up with. So I believe that you need to leave those rebuttals to those close by, that is his campaign communicators, to handle that and concentrate on himself about how he wants these delegates to select him or to elect him to become the flag bearer. I think he will be one of them. I think they will be attacking him straight away. All of them will be attacking him, especially Ken Camp and also Brian Camp. These two aspirants will be throwing a lot of that on him, and I think you need to be very careful so that you don't waste much time responding to some of these accusations or some of these allegations. If not, I'm sorry that they will divert his attention, and that will be his fall for not becoming the flag bearer. So you need to rebrand himself, reposition himself, and devoid from some of certain attacks that does not need any kind of attention. You need to be focused on what he wants for all of us and the delegates as well.
Yeah, just finally, we've seen four. We're expecting Dr. Yose Duchum as well to file a lot later today. You still think the former vice president is the man to beat in the lead up to January of 2026?
Yes, I think he has a formidable structures. I think the party structures and systems at least goes to his advantage. So he has a system backing him. And when I mean about the system, I'm talking about the that's the party systems, and because all the regional executives, most of them, I would say that most of them at least will tend to. So you need to be very, very careful and also not take things for granted. If not, the people or the other aspirant will tend to divert his attention, and he might lose the flag bearership. So you need to be very cautious on that.
Right then, I appreciate you speaking to us, Doc. That's Dr. Samuel Free. He is
my pleasure, Mauna.
As always, speaking to us on what we've seen play out today. Dr. Bawumia's filed, but we, amongst many other things, know that this is not done. Dr. Yose Duchum as well expected there a lot later, and we'll continue to monitor this and bring you details of it all here on TV3. A reminder, we are your election command center, and we can bring you a bit more stories right now.
There's a looming health crisis as displaced victims of the Gbenyiri communal conflict, mostly children who are seeking refuge at the Sola police station, are beginning to fall sick. Through personnel from the Ghana Red Cross Society and health workers at the Sola Government Hospital working to contain the situation. There are fears of a possible disease outbreak at the camp. These 8,000 people, mostly women and children, have reportedly been displaced following a land dispute that claimed more than 10 lives. A dusk to dawn curfew has since been imposed on the Sola and Bole communities as part of measures to curb the escalation of the conflict. Now, on Monday, August 26, the Inspector General of Police, among other top security operatives at the Savannah Regional Security Council, visited the affected communities and reassured them of their safety while calling for a ceasefire. Let's get the latest from our correspondent, Christopher Amwako. Chris, I appreciate your time this afternoon, but you tell us that the young children are fallen sick of what? Chris, we cannot hear you. Well, it would appear Chris cannot hear us at this time, but you recall that hundreds of people have had to flee Binyiri and its surrounding communities after a land dispute related clash broke out in that area. Now, our correspondent is reporting that, despite the refuge they have sought, some of the children are falling sick in those camps where they are, particularly at the police station. We can now take a listen to the DCE for the Sola Tuna Kalba district.
For the people who have gathered here, there is no place of convenience. All over is littered with human excreta, and there's the need for us to get some sort of mobile toilet, what we call mobile toilet, so that the people here can easily ease themselves. In fact, we want to contact the Ghana Health Service, the district hospital, if they can do some sort of provide some health services to the people here. I believe it will go a long way to help us. Because of their exposure to the environment, we are even lucky that for the past few days it has not rained. As you can see, if not because of the few tents that have been brought, it would have been a very bad situation.
We can also take a listen to the Red Cross Society that's been assisting displaced victims there.
Since the one up to now, in fact, it wasn't easy. But looking at Red Cross intervention, we are able to manage some of the minor issues. And especially this morning, the way the case keep on rising, early morning when I came here, I have attended to 7 people. Those who are having minor injuries, we will dress them. Then those that they just maybe, if I can say your stomach or other thing, I'll just maybe get you a porridge, you take them, maybe within some time. When I talk to you, then I think you can see that it's okay. And some of them, psychologically, you can see that maybe because of what happened, you need to calm the person down and talk to he or she. Within some time, the tension will come down. But for now, looking at the situation, we need the intervention of the health service. If they can mount a mobile health post here, like if they can join us, I think it will help us.
Let's get a clearer sense of the situation at these camps. Christopher Amwako is our correspondent. Let's try him again. Now, Christopher, we've just heard from the Red Cross Society and before then the DCE for that area who have been telling us the situation from their perspective. But you talk to us. What have you seen with the health crisis that you report about, particularly sickness amongst the children?
Yes, so this morning we have observed that most of the children here at the Sola police station, where majority of the displaced victims of the conflict are seeking refuge, are beginning to fall sick. Some of them have actually complained of severe headache, others stomach ache, others are even vomiting. And so it calls for the immediate attention of the health workers here in Sola. I met the medical superintendent of the Sola government hospital here earlier, and he and his team had come to assess the situation. They are going to send a team down to the place to, as it were, monitor the situation. But they are also calling for a mobile clinic here at the camp where they can easily access some first aid from these health workers. And so that is the situation. People are beginning to fall sick. The children and the aged among them are beginning to fall sick.
And indeed, Christopher, we heard the DC complain about the absence of a place of convenience for people to do their number ones and twos. What does he plan to do about that?
Yeah, so what he's saying is that already the assembly is overburdened with this particular incident because so far the amount of money they have spent alone is something that is serious. So they have asked for some of the mobile toilets from Damango and Tamale. So they are hoping that when they arrive, they can use them because they cannot construct something of that sort now, but they have asked for some to be brought from Damango and Tamale so that the people here can make good use of them.
I see. To the best of your knowledge, how many people have taken ill?
Yes, so this morning alone, they recorded some 7 persons, children. Yesterday, some numbers were recorded. Some were actually sent to the Solar Government Hospital. And Kemini, let me also add that some people have also just arrived this morning from the conflict areas to also join the other colleagues who are pitching camp here.
And what are the children getting sick of? What do the Red Cross Society attendants there tell you about what the children are falling sick from?
Yes, so because they cannot immediately diagnose them, but what they are saying is that one, hunger is part because they do not get food on time to eat. The second aspect has to do with the fact that they sleep in the open. Mosquitoes are all over, and the bad weather conditions that come along with it. So they believe that the children could either have malaria, and also some of them with the symptoms they are showing, vomiting, severe headache, and others. They suspect that it could be malaria, and that is why they need immediate attention, especially for the children.
I see, Chris. On Wednesday, we had spoken about a worrying humanitarian situation there at the camp. What has changed since we last spoke about the need for relief items for the displaced people?
So I must say that for water is here in abundance because they have brought enough to supply to the people. Not the one that they will be able to bath with, because since Sunday, most of them have said that they have not taken their bath. As for the water they drink, they have brought enough of the sachet water here for them to be able to drink. Now, when it comes to food, this morning they took their breakfast around 10:30 because of this delay, the increasing numbers. They are unable to tell the numbers, so they bring the first batch, bring the second batch. So some of them actually took their breakfast around 10:30, and that is one other worrying thing. Even though the food supplies come in, but it's not regular and it's not enough to do for the many people who are here. Aside this, nothing has actually changed. We are not seeing people moving back into their communities. We are rather seeing more people coming to the camp.
I see. And we understand that both the gender minister and the Savannah region minister have both been to the area. Talk to us about their visits there.
Yes, so with the Savannah Regional Minister, you remember that yesterday, curfew, dusk to dawn curfew was imposed on the Bole and Solar communities. And so the minister has been commenting on the curfew aspect. He has been saying that it's important for the curfew to take place because of the human security aspect. And so he appealed to the residents to go by the terms of the curfew for their own safety. On the part of the gender minister, you know that she's been supplying some food items to these people. Yesterday she was here herself to assess the situation, and she describes it as very, very pathetic. Let's take a listen to what the two of them have been saying.
To talk to the people of Bole district and the people of Solar Tuna Kaba district. The curfew is imposed to ensure some sanity in the communities that we have. It is in our own interest that we are having the curfew. It is the interest of the people of Bole district, the people of Solatunat Calabar district, that the Ministry of Interior, based on the intelligence that they have gathered, saw the need to impose the curfew. And it is actually affecting every aspect of the two districts. So I'm appealing to my brothers and my sisters in the district to kindly comply and respect the rules of the curfew. The rules are principally very simple.
It's a very sad situation, a very sad and unfortunate one. Anyone who comes to this camp will tell you that it's not a good sight to behold. When you look at the faces of the children and that of the pregnant women, persons with disability, and then the lactating mothers, you know, especially the lactating mothers, they need the food to be able to produce the milk, and then also more fluid to produce milk and then feed the babies. The pregnant women, you know, under normal circumstances, most people eat double. But given this situation, in fact, the first day was horrible because most people did not have anything to eat. But we stepped in, and then some way, somehow, we've been able to do our widow's might to meet the needs of the people here in terms of their feeding halfway. I am appealing to all the factions that for the sake of the women and children who we hold dear, they should sit and jaw. We want to call for.
Well, Christopher, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you so much for talking to us. Christopher Amwako joined us from the camp created for displaced persons as a result of the Gbenyiri communal clashes in the Sola-Tuna Kalba district. Now we are learning that young children and some vulnerable groups, including the aged, are starting to fall ill or take ill in these camps, and some attention is needed. You're here on News Central live on TV3. I'm Kamini Amano. Still up ahead on the news. Controversy surrounding the incident at the Ridge Hospital after the release of the investigative report. Stay with us.
Here on News Central, here on TVET. We're going to other matters right now having to do with health, and we're starting off with Ridge because there's controversy surrounding the alleged attack at the Ridge Hospital following the release of a report by the investigative committee tasked to look into the matter by the health minister. The setting up of the committee followed a chaotic scene at the hospital when social media influencer Ralph St. Williams accused the medical officers there of negligence. His altercation was streamed live on Facebook. But after the incident, officials there accused him of assaulting a nurse, which led to fractures on the wrist of the nurse, which she confirmed in subsequent interviews. But the committee's report, interestingly, says that the nurse did not suffer any injuries, and she apparently reported the assault a day after the incident. And this has brought into sharp criticism the conduct of a number of individuals at play, even though we know as well that the report identified a lack of adequate personnel and then equipment to, amongst many other things, deliver efficiently. Let's get onto the phone lines right now and speak to Dr. Sebastian Sandare. He's a member of parliament for the Dafia-Mebusi-Isa constituency and also a member of the health committee as well. Let's speak his thoughts on what it is that we've seen play out. Honorable, I appreciate you joining us. And so, obviously, at the heart of this is that bigger conversation about medical negligence and its attendant consequences in the country. Where do you sit as an MP, a health professional, as to how we begin to address this issue based on what we've seen play out?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. In terms of medical negligence, as you have asked, you know, my where I sit with regards to that. I mean, you know, the medical profession is like we say it's next to God. So you see that the medical professionals after God, you know, it's like you now have the opportunity to influence the life of a sick person. So it is something that really nobody would take, you know, lightly. So if you ask my view, as a member of parliament, as a medical doctor, nobody would want a case of medical negligence where the life of the patient is at risk or the patient dies. So
right.
The system, you know, when I say the system, the health system also knows, you know, the importance of working hard to ensure that we don't have cases of medical negligence, you know, in the health system. However, you find cases that over the decades, you know, have emerged. And our medical system and the legal system have been dealing with, you know, such issues, unfortunately, which as a committee we don't tolerate. We don't even want to hear that a single case of medical negligence has occurred. But it's a case that has to be dealt with within the health system.
Right, but it's interesting you mentioned the health committee because in all of this, has this come to your attention as a committee? You've received some briefing because we know the chair of the committee had sought to ask that this not be politicized. Now we've seen the outcome, everything play out. What is the position of the committee going forward on this, even before I move you on to other matters?
Oh, the position of the health committee is very clear, you know, by our mandate. The fact that we play oversight role on the health sector also means that these are issues that, you know, we work to ensure that they don't happen. I mean, in terms of somebody officially or a group of people officially writing to the health committee to investigate a case of medical negligence. That one, I would say, to the best of my knowledge, we don't have such a thing. But like I said, we play oversight role over the health sector. So, and our focus is that, look, there should be quality of healthcare delivery in every health facility in Ghana.
Right.
There shouldn't be any situation where, a medical professional, is involved in the case of medical negligence. I mean, that is the position of the committee. We work hard to ensure that we prevent, medical negligence through, our functions and rules that we play over the health.
Right. Honorable, I want you to hold the line for me right now, because there's another matter which I'll be seeking your thoughts on just briefly, having to do with a circular from the chief executive of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital about business being diverted from the hospital to private facilities. There's a bit of a data point, or in terms of the circular which we have, which we're going to walk viewers through just quickly. Then I pick your thoughts on what you make of it. And so we're going to go on to this dashboard right now, which has the details as captured in that memo to top managers at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital against what they say are actions driving away business from the premier health facility. And what are these actions? The first is prescribing of services or medications that are readily available at the hospital and directing clients to purchase them from private facilities. They say that staff are engaged in this particular activity. Also, they are engaging private facilities to collect blood samples for tests that can be conducted within the hospital. Again, they are using Kolebu facilities and resources to perform surgeries while collecting money with private receipts or without issuing any receipts at all. And these, they say, is constituting serious irregularities and taking revenue away from the hospital. They say with immediate effect, any staff member found to be involved in any of the above-mentioned activities will face disciplinary action in accordance with the policies of the hospital. And I just want to pick your thoughts on this as well. This is not entirely so new, if we're being honest to ourselves. Persons say they know this happens, but it's taken the CEO to issue this circular. What are your thoughts on this, and how do we begin to address this, not just at Kolebu, but across all of our government hospitals?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I like the ending aspect of the question. Look, we should work to address the health system challenges. What is happening at Kolebu does not mean it's only Kolebu. I believe if we do our homework and investigate in the other teaching hospitals and the major hospitals, you may find that this practice exists. So the way is for us as a country to say that it's not even about talking. We should discipline people when they intentionally go wrong. I mean, what would be the reason that somebody, a staff of a hospital, will divert the resources that are meant for quality health delivery in that health facility? You divert those resources to a private health facility. That is criminal. That is stealing. So. And our laws are very clear. If somebody is caught doing such, I mean, you discipline the person according to the law. So what Kolebu has come out, I believe, is through maybe board meeting, before it goes to management, and so that should be it. Anybody caught should be disciplined, should be punished according to the law. I believe over the years, because we have not been punishing people or disciplining them accordingly, then people are encouraged to do that. I mean, as a consultant, as a medical doctor or a nurse or whatever health professional that you are, I mean, it's not allowed that you divert resources from where you are working and then you are paid at the end of the month, then you divert the resources or the services from that place to another place. But let me also put it right that there might be some agreement or some understanding between, government health facilities, Kolebu, and maybe some private
facilities,
health facilities, maybe to provide some services that Kolebu cannot provide. But all this will be streamlined. All this would be policies and guidelines and agreements signed on that.
Well, Doc, it does appear. It does appear it's not what the concern being raised is not a specific arrangement between the facility and then these private entities. These are diversions ending up in the pockets of individuals and these private entities in what the management now suspects to be collusion of some sort.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That is unacceptable. That is criminal. That's all. The rules should be applied so that anybody caught in that act, you face the necessary sanctions. And because the sanctions are there, the policies are there. I mean, nobody can say that in a place like Kolebu, they don't have, punitive measures or sanctions for people who go against the policies or law. So what we need to do is to enforce the law, enforce the rules.
Absolutely.
These things will stop. These things will stop if we enforce them. But if we don't enforce, then people will take delight and others will copy. And it will continue.
Absolutely. I appreciate, Doc, you speaking to us. That's Dr. Sebastian Sandare, is a member of Parliament for DBI, speaking to us this afternoon on two issues. First off, on the Ridge report and its aftermath, and as well the circular from the Chief Executive of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital about revenue being diverted to private pockets.
Now let's take you across the regions again, because the Prempeh Assembly Hall District Court has adjourned the murder case involving Daniel Tufo, the prime suspect in the killing of a Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology student, to Friday, September 15th. The brief hearing on Thursday was primarily procedural, allowing the prosecution more time to complete its investigations into the gruesome crime that has shocked the university community and the nation. The suspect, Daniel Tufo, was remanded into prison custody until a new date. Tufo is accused of the murder of a female student, Joanna Deladem Yabani, whose body was discovered near the university's Disability and Rehabilitation Center. The discovery prompted an immediate manhunt, leading to Tufo's arrest by the police. The case has cast a pale shadow over the university, with students and faculty expressing grief and outrage. The victim was described as a brilliant and promising student. Ibrahim Abubakar is our regional correspondent who sat through the hearing today, who'll tell us a bit more. Ibrahim, what else happened in court?
Well, like we rightly mentioned, it was a brief session. In fact, today, because the judge sitting on the case, Worship Deborah Donko, was even not available, we are told that she is on a legal break. And the Attorney General representative was in court. They came together with the defense counsel of the accused, and they came to agree on a new date for them to reappear on court, which will be September 15. So it was quite brief. The suspect himself was not brought to court, but family of the deceased were in court. They are just hoping that the process will be faster. You know, for now we are at the district court, and issues regarding murder with the district court, it is just the commercial proceeding. It has to be moved from the district court to the high court, where the issue or the case itself will be heard. So we are currently at the commercial proceeding. They are just hoping that everything will be fast-tracked, so that maybe at least for the next hearing, everything will be done for it to be sent to the High Court for the substantive case itself to be good.
I see. Ibrahim, we'll see how that plays out on September 15th. In the meantime, we'll say in the Ashanti region and turn attention to education, because to ensure integrity of the ongoing WASSCE is preserved, the Ghana Education Service has sent a clear message that cheating will not be tolerated, especially in the ongoing examination. Now, the warning follows concerns of increasing examination malpractices in most schools.
The officials from the Ghana Education Service conducted unannounced visit to examination centers in the Ashanti region to monitor the ongoing WASSCE. The monitoring exercise, led by Deputy Director General Professor Smal GC and the Regional Education Directorate, aimed to gather first-hand information on the conduct of the exams and ensure candidate compliance with examination rules. The team visited selected schools, including the Josumai Senior High School, Kumasi Girls Senior High School, Islamic Senior High School, and Prempeh College. While commending the schools for a generally smooth examination process, the officials issued a stern warning against examination malpractice, highlighting its severe consequence.
Our Honorable Minister of Education and Ghana Education Service, we have declared zero tolerance for examination malpractice. So what is going to happen in any one court will be severely punished. Be it invigilator or supervisor or whoever concerned, that person will not be spared at all. So that's one of the great strategies we put in place, and we are not going to compromise on this stance.
Dr. William Amankra expressed satisfaction with the process so far.
This is an unannounced visit. It's about the exams, ongoing exams, and extra to see what we are doing at the region.
The monitoring team is scheduled to visit centers in the region's rural areas.
On the subject of education, because a national conversation on strengthening ties between education and industry took center stage at the second National Roundtable for Private Sector Engagement and Partnership in Technical and Vocational Education and Training. The event brought together key stakeholders to re-examine the future of TVET.
The second National Roundtable event themed Strengthening Public-Private Collaboration for Sustainable Skills Development in Ghana highlighted the critical need for stronger collaboration between the public and private sectors to drive sustainable skills development in Ghana. Representing the Minister for Education, Rejoice Dankwa stressed the importance of forging partnership with industries. She made a passionate appeal for companies to open their doors to internship and apprenticeship, saying it's key to preparing Ghana's youth for the jobs of tomorrow.
The future of your company, your industries, and indeed the national economy depends on the quality and relevance of the skills you produce. This is not a call for charity. It is a call for strategic investment in your own competitiveness and sustainability. I'm urging you to open your doors wider than ever to internships, apprenticeship, and workplace experience learning opportunities. I am calling on you to be deeply involved in shaping our curricula so that they match the technologies, standards, and processes of your industry.
The Director General of the Ghana TVET Service, Eric Kofi Ajere, emphasized the importance of working hand in hand with the private sector to reshape and elevate the TVET landscape. He was firm in his message that TVET should not be viewed as a fallback option for students who do not pass traditional exam, and urged Ghanaians to stop the stigma surrounding vocational education.
If you say stigma and you still take your call off to a seamstress to fix for you, to wear, to look so beautiful, what are you trying to do? People must rather understand the fact that these are the very people we need to make our life a lot more easier for us. People must also understand that TVET space is for people who are innovative, who are creative, who can change lives. You understand? It's not about people who are not intelligent.
This is So News Central, going for our final break here. When we return, we do a few more stories and then we take the show home. Stay with us.
Well, welcome back. It's still News Central here on TV3. We've just got some news coming in about how some people fleeing the Gbenyiri communal clashes have perished in a boat incident. Our correspondent is joining us with details of the story. Christopher, talk to us about this new development.
Yes, so Kevin, I must say that unfortunately, some of the victims of these conflicts who were fleeing across the White Volta into neighboring Côte d'Ivoire, unfortunately lost their lives after a boat on which they were crossing capsized on the White Volta. And this situation right now, NADMO is unable to tell us the numbers because of the rush to cross. Most of them entered the boat. The boat is alleged to have been overloaded, and as a result, capsized midway on their journey across the White Volta. And so as we speak now, some persons have lost their lives as a result of that.
I see. As far as NADMO is concerned, what are they doing about the situation in terms of recovery?
Yes, so NADMO is mobilizing to go there because there are more people stranded at the river bank. And so the Member of Parliament has since directed the NADMO director to go there and provide them with food and also ensure that these people are moved, evacuated from that place to the Solar police station. So that is what NADMO intends to do in the interim to save the situation.
Indeed. Christopher, very disturbing development. You keep an eye on events there, and we'll bring our viewers details of new development as they emerge. Thank you so much for talking to us. Christopher Amwako is our Savannah region correspondent who's been covering the situation. They're very disturbing.
Very sad.
I
mean, you're in your home, and then suddenly because of some land, and now people are fighting, and suddenly you have to flee because you could get killed. And in your attempt to save yourself, you end up drowning as a result of it. It's certainly not the way to go for anybody in any part of this country. And most definitely some action ought to be taken, and hopefully we see that happen soon enough.
Indeed, indeed. But it's time for us to go.
Absolutely. I am Mawina Igbeta.
And I am Kemeni Amano. Next is the afternoon show. Bye-bye from us.